Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. How are we? I look a bit skewy, don't I? Why is that? Is that any better? I look a little bit all over the place. Oh. Okay, that's better. We're waiting for Instagram family to join us. My network, it's buffing. It's very slow network I've got here. If I cut out, you know why. And just a reminder, I can't see you guys. It's something that I need to work on and fix. I can't see you guys. If you guys say hi, I can't respond. I will respond after the live. But as for now, I can't see anything or anybody at all. So my apologies for not being able to connect with you guys while I'm here. That is something that I need to work on. So hello. I'm sure you guys had a wonderful weekend. Welcome to Monday Reset. I am grateful that you're here. You could have been anywhere, but you have made your Monday evening a day to recharge yourself, to open yourself up again, to work on yourself and make sure that you start your week right. So I am very grateful. Now, you guys, just give me a second. Let me fix this. Instagram is struggling. The Wi-Fi is not working properly. Oh. Story of my life, right? It was fine until now. Right, let's give it another go again. The network is bad. We are cracking on, and they are here. Finally, we are going to crack on. Hello, we're waiting for you guys, and you are here. So as I said, it's a new week. It's a beautiful Monday. Monday resets. It's a Monday of resetting yourself, of getting yourself right, of getting you to be for you, to work on yourself, to empower yourself, to make sure that you are, Sam, honey, to make the mindset. If you've got a good mindset, good, let's go. And if you haven't, probably you've been lazing around. Now is your chance to start another new day tomorrow and be on point. So thank you for giving me your time. I really do appreciate it. I really mean that. I just don't say it for fun. I mean it. Because we as people, life nowadays is so busy that we sometimes lose the sense of who we are. We try and find ourselves in feeding certain places sometimes that we don't feed, just because we don't understand who we are. So we tend to try and fit in. And fitting in or following other people, it's not always a right decision. In most cases, it's not the right decision. So what we're going to talk about today, the topic of today is you dare stand out. Dare to stand out, to be the person that is going to stand out. Because most people today, we try and fit in. All we are doing is trying to fit in into something, to fit in because we want to be a part of a group. We don't stand on our own. And most people, we're just blending in, following others, following the crowd, playing it safe because we are so terrified to be judged. We are terrified to the T of people. What are people going to say about me? What do they think about me? Now, let me tell you something. People hardly, I think I have to, no. People hardly pay attention to other people because most of the people are terrified of being judged. So they're thinking of themselves. So it's not a thing of where they have to sit down and think about you on a daily basis. So don't not be afraid to step out of your own shadow and be the person that you've always wanted to be. So dare to stand out and be different. Dare to stand out and stand by yourself if you have to. Like for you to be like true to yourself. Stand out. Because we avoid being judged, as I said, but here's the truth. All the leaders that we follow, they were once called crazy, but now they are heroes. Once a long time ago, they were considered crazy, but now they are heroes. And an inventor, even iPhone, whatever, look around you. The person who started that, they were told, it's not going to work. Somebody said no, just because they didn't believe in them, just because they didn't understand them, and they said no, right? So anybody who dares to break the mold of fitting in, having a different voice, it's difficult for most of us because it's different, right? And people don't like different. People not like normality. People like what they know. The people who stood out, they broke that mold because they wanted to be different. They wanted to stand out. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to break the mold and be different and be the person that is going to lead the way? Are you going to be the person who's going to make a way when there is no way? Are you going to be that person? Or are you going to be a follower for the rest of your life? Because most of us, we are old girls and old boys, and it's never too late to change, right? Because KFC, he started KFC in his 60s. So it's never too late to start something, but you have to be willing to take the hit, because a lot of people, when he started, said no to him. But he pushed on and pushed on because he believed in his dream, because he knew he had something good. So believe in yourself. Do whatever you have to do to stand out and be different, okay? Be different. Do not fit into the box where the world tries to put us in, because the world tries to box us. We have to be in a box, be just the one dimension kind of person. Don't try and do something on the side. Don't try and do anything different. They will judge you. They will judge you. People will judge you irrespective of whether whatever you're doing or not doing, you will be judged. And so don't worry about it. And they like to tell us who to be, how to behave. Like literally you're being told who to be. Every day we're being told you should be this. Oh, Muherero, therefore you can't say that. Oh, Muherero, so therefore you have to wear this. Oh, Muherero. So literally other people's belief where I didn't have no say into it, I have to follow. I am not saying it's a bad thing with certain, like with culture, with certain things. It keeps you in line. It keeps you disciplined. I love that about my culture with certain things. But with certain things, it's like, no, I am stepping out of the normality of what I know. Because they like to tell us what is normal. What is normal? Because your normality is not my normality, right? Your normality is not my normality. What you regard as normal, to me, it might be weird. And that's the world they try to tell us. What is normal? You gotta behave this way. That's how everybody else behave. But if you want to be a leader, leading, you cannot follow normality. You gotta break that mold and willing to be different. Be the person who's going to be different. Be the person who's going to challenge what is normal. Create your own normality. Create your own normality. Yeah? Because fitting in have never, ever, ever in this life have created a leader. Like now, leader, I'm not saying be on top of the world, leading everybody and no. Yes, that's fine and well and dandy, but leading yourself, it's one of the most important things that we all have to do. It's to learn how to lead ourselves. because we lack a lot of that. And that shows the fruit that we produce, shows the lack of self-leadership that most people have. Just look around them. The way they behave, the way they are doing things, they're just following. Just because, let's say, for example, somebody paid attention to you, it doesn't mean like you have to fall for it all the time. Now, because if you lack discipline in yourself, you will fall for it every single time. But if you know what you want, if you know who you are, you're so assured of who you are. Not everything that will go in front of you, that will come in front of you, you will just follow. No. If you've got self-belief, self-love, self-respect, and that leadership within yourself, you know how to lead you. Not everything a candy that's flowing in front of you that you will take on. No. And when people approach you, they know how to approach you, especially if you come across a certain way of saying, no, honey, you don't get to approach me that way. Pay some respect. People will show you respect. If you respect yourself enough, people will show you respect. If you're showing that leadership in your life, how you run it, people will treat you as such. So have some self-leadership. Learn how to be a leader. Teach yourself how to be a leader. Dare to stand out. Right? Dare to stand out. Because I know me doing this, like every Monday, I do get judged for it. I do. Do I care? Does it bother me? No. Because I want to do this. Because I enjoy being with you guys. Because I enjoy being a part of this and learning new things every week to bring out, to say, listen, guys, we got to open ourselves up. Guys, let's do this. Guys, let's do that. I enjoy that. Growth in myself and growth for you guys. Not to say that I'm better than anybody. No, because I'm not. I am a better version of what I was yesterday. That I know for sure. Are you? Did you feed your mind yesterday? Did you feed your mind like today in the morning? During the day? Are you feeding your mind now? Yes, if you're watching this, you're feeding your mind. But did you give yourself a chance at all? In most cases, it's a no. And that's a shame. An absolute shame. Because your path will never, ever feel to anybody else like, okay. Because it's your path, right? It's your dream. It's for you. It will never seem as it's a thing to do for somebody else. Because when you're following your path, nobody is supposed to understand it. Nobody is meant to be at ease with your goals and your dreams. Because it's not given to them. It's yours. It's your path. It's your growth. So why should anybody else try and feed into it and try to understand you? Not try and explain yourself to people just because they don't know or they don't feel at ease because of how you move. Don't worry about that. Because most of the times when you are putting yourself out there, your voice, it's a challenge. That challenge, what is comfortable to most people. Your difference is a challenge to a lot of people. What seems so different, people don't like it. When they've known you a certain way for a very long time, and now all of a sudden you are stepping out, being a different person, they tend to hate that. But if you're working on growth on yourself, you know where you're going. You know what you're doing because it's your path to walk. You and you alone by yourself. So do not worry about what people are saying, about what people are doing. Do not worry about that because you are minding your own business. And that is you working on your growth. That is you being the better version of you every single day. That is you doing that. Yeah, so you have to really be willing to be really, really uncomfortable because it's going to be uncomfortable for a while and you might lose some friends in the process of you changing. And that's all right. That it's meant to be that way. That means not everybody was meant to come in your journey. Because I remember back in the days, I did lose some people that I considered friends. We're all right now, but we're not as close as we used to be. And it bothered me for a long time. Like, why? What have I done? Da, 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 da. Like, trying to push myself onto the people, trying to be a friend of theirs because I've known them for such a long time. Why? No. And then I understood my being, I understood my journey better. So I backed up. So knowing and learning, so yeah, these people, when they were meant to stop halfway, because that's the thing. Sometimes we try and drag people along our journey when they were meant to stop at stop K, instead of coming to stop T, C, whatever. You just carry a load that you shouldn't be carrying. People are meant to get off at certain bus stops. Not everybody is meant to be with you for as long as you leave. The quicker you understand that, the better it is. And you tend to learn to forgive yourself, you forgive others, and you move on and you live a happy life. Yeah? A happy life. Because for those reasons, you have to learn to keep on going. Keep on going. Because this world doesn't need another copy. There is so many copies around you. There is so many copies around whatever you're doing, because we tend to copy each other quite a lot, right? There is so many of you. The world doesn't need that. We need you, the raw, true version of you. That's what we need, and that's what we want. Now, being a copy is when you're being a follower. Be a leader. The world needs you, honey. We need you. You got to be unapologetically you. You got to be bold. Learn to be bold, right? Now, being bold is not being rude, but be firm in what you are saying. Be bold. Stand in your truth. Stand in what you believe in. If you say no, say no. Don't say yes and then don't say no and then say yes. No. Stand in your truth. Stand in what you believe in. Stand in that. Yeah. Be bold, honey. Be bold. Be fully you. Be fully you. Be fully you. Be different. Be real. Be the one who dares to live. That is you. Be that person. Now, on that note, I am going to talk about an interesting young lady who took a chance on herself. The lady who said, I am going to be different. And there is nothing you can do about that. Her name is Safan Hassan. Hassan is her last name. Wonderful young lady. She lives in Netherlands now, but she was born in Ethiopia and she moved to the Netherlands. She was born on the 1st of January 1993. So she is a young, fresh thing. She runs middle and long distance run. The minute I say Ethiopia, it should come to mind instantly. It's running, because they are very good at that sort of thing. She was born in Mada, and I know I botched that name, and I'm so sorry, but to me, it's like Ethiopians and Kenyans and Ugandians now. They have this stamina within themselves that they just go. I don't know whether is it in the food, is it how the mind works, is it the leaders that they had before them that they say, I'm gonna do that? What is it that's in them that they just excel at running marathons like this? They win anytime they take part into it. And this girl, she made a huge decision that she decided to move to Ethiopia, to the Netherlands from Ethiopia. She moved from her home country and went to the Netherlands in 2008 only. Come closer. only at the age of 15. 15. Now, whether she made this decision with her parents or she didn't have any, she made that a bold decision. Do you get it when I'm saying be bold? She made that a bold decision to go to a country unknown, a language she doesn't know. When she got there, she had to teach herself. She had to teach herself how to speak Dutch. And when I was going through her history, and I'm like, wow, this resonates to me. This resonates to all of us, most of my audience, the people that watch me, it resonates because most of us, 20 years ago to now, we left our homelands and we are all over the world. But living, for most of us, we didn't have a purpose. We didn't have a reason as to why we were going. Some of us, we just went because people were going. Some of us, we went just because we were told to go. Right? So there was no purpose for it. Or just wanting to say, I went to the UK, I live in the UK, I live in Canada, I live in America, I live somewhere in Europe. There was no purpose for it. But she had a purpose. She had why she wanted to go. She knew why she wanted to go. She knew why she wanted to become a refugee in another country. You know why? Because she made a decision of learning to be a nurse. While she was learning to be a nurse, she made a decision she taught herself the Dutch language, and then she was running as well at the same time. That's a woman on a mission. Try and tell me otherwise. That is a woman on a mission. I mean, even then, she was not even a woman. She was a child at that time. She was a child, but she made a decision on saying, I'm going to be different. I am not going to be a follower. Although she said that, because she was she's young, she's trying to find her way, she's trying to find her way in life. And she went and find a place called Eindhoven, where she found another fellow Ethiopians, and she was okay with that, But although she found her people, because this is one mistake that I see in us, we fit in to everybody. Because we want, it's my people. We just follow what everybody else is doing. Dare to be different. We don't. It's okay. Everybody's coming from home, coming to the UK, being what? Either you're doing construction work or you're being a carer. In nursing, some sort of something. Dare to be different? No. We don't do anything different. We just do the minimal. As long as you're getting paid, as long as you're getting some money. Hello, you deaf girl, baby girl. I'm talking about dare to be different. And I'm talking about Safan Hassan, the marathon runner from Netherlands, but originally from Ethiopia. She had the courage to do something amazing and different, comparing to how most of us foreigners come to these countries and we just feed in and we do something that is just putting food on the table. She went on because she was just being a stubborn girl. When they were trying to teach her techniques on how to be, you have to run this way, she said, no. I am doing this and I'm doing it my way. I'm doing it my way. You don't get to tell me. But, because when you're young and you're not really experienced, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to behave in a certain way. So you need that leadership. You need someone to lead you. You need someone to guide you. Eventually, she let her guard down, let people in to guide her. The people who became her coaches, people who passed and craft the way for her. But at the time, she was still a refugee. She wasn't a Dutch citizen. But in 2013, she became a citizen. In November, she became a citizen. Didn't need to become a Dutch girl. Now I don't know whether because they saw something great in her or she applied and it came through anyway. That I don't know. But the same year, championships, she went in as a Dutch girl. She ran. Now, you see, this is a thing that amazed me. I counted that she had 29 medals to her name. To this day, and probably I'm sure they are still growing. The number is still going up. That is a person, 15-year-olds. 15-year-old girl who moved, and she had a decision. She to me, learning about her, she had a mind that said, I'm going to be different. I am going to do what I have always dreamed of. Most of us, we come to these countries, we don't have dreams. We don't have our why. We don't have anything going for us. As long as you've left Namibia, that's fine. As long as you've left Africa, we think that's fine. So we don't want to grow. We want just to fit, just to sit, just to be normal. We deny ourselves our greatest destiny. Most of us, we will never find our greatness that's within us. We will take that to the grave. Just because we don't want to challenge, just because we don't want to face ourselves. And that is a big, big shame. Absolute big shame. And the Tokyo Athletics, she joined. The Olympic Games, she joined. Again, it's a Dutch woman. Now she was fully Dutch, okay? She joined and she did the most amazing thing to this day that no man and no woman have ever done. 3 different things. Amazing girl. What a great... You are most welcome, baby girl. Thank you. 3 different games, like all. So she did the one 5,000, 10,000, and then the 1,500. She decided to do that all in one Olympic game. She decided to do that. And now just listen to that. 1,500, 5,000, and 10,000. And that's you running, like, because you got to qualify first. And then you qualifying, and then you qualifying, and then you get to the end. Now, if you're doing 3, can you imagine the hardship she did put on her body? How she had to train mentally first, how she had to picture herself like running the races, the sort of mindset to even sit down and decide that I'm going to run 3 different races in one Olympic game. The mindset that you have to have. To me, it's like, that's wow, it's amazing. And I don't even know how many laps 5,000 is and 10,000. The 1,500, I know it's about 3.5, right? That's fair. For most of us, half a lap, we are dead. So for one person to do that, it's amazing. Now, qualifying for the 1,500, now just before she got to the final bit, so she said to herself, listen, I am not going to kill myself through all, because I'm doing 3. So I'm sure her and her coach came up with a plan. So you have to be clever. As long as you qualify, that's the main thing, right? Just qualify. Because running, you don't need to be at a certain position. Those sort of races, as long as you're in there, just qualify. Right? Just get in there. Okay, so she did the other 2. Fine, she qualified. And then the third one, which was the 1,500, when she was running, would you believe it or not? This is how we get tested. And we fail to see that it's a test. We tumble down and we don't get up from it. She was tripped while she was running the 1,500. And she was left at the pack, at the very back of the pack. And she did what? She didn't give up. She stood up and ran her race. She did her thing, honey. And not just running, because she had to do a little bit more work than she wanted to. She had no choice, right? So she ended up winning the whole thing, like just the qualifying to get to the final. So she won that. Fine, bang. You have to. So she had about 12 hours only to work on herself, like to get it all right, because I'm sure mentally that is challenging you, because you had to sort of step out of your way, because you have to push yourself a little bit more, and you're thinking, okay, so how do I go around this whole thing? Because now she's feeling a little bit more tired than she wanted to. Now because she burnt out more energy than she needed to. Goes, here comes the 5,000, bam, gold. Here comes the 10,000, bam, gold. She is winning. She won gold. And I watched that and I loved it. So I'm looking at her as an African girl. Oh, yeah. Right? Don't bite my head off. I'm looking at her as an African girl with pride. Anything African to me, I am there. Full force. With pride, with joy, I'm supporting. And then came the 1500, the one that really made her push, like more than she wanted to. She ran and she won bronze. Now, isn't that an achievement? Isn't that an achievement for anybody? For all of us, that we have to learn from, it doesn't matter how old the person is. If you fall, that doesn't mean it's the end. It's not the end of it. It's not the end of you. But we tumble down, we fall, and we don't know how to get up. If you don't know how to get up by yourself, ask for help. There is a whole lot of people. This girl here, Judith, she works with your mind. She will help you. Ask for help. Find her. She's all over social media. We don't know sometimes to ask for help, because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes it's pride. And it gets in the way. It's a shame. Because you would have just 1 foot away from gold, and that was asking somebody for help, or you just picking yourself up and do the thing that you wanted to do. Now, me sitting here in front of you guys, it was never easy. My mouth was drying out at the very beginning, as I'm thinking, I am going to do what? Talk to people? I'm not doing that. But because I was challenged, I took on the challenge. And I'm here. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm much, much better than I used to be. Much better, because I faced my fear. That girl faced her fear. And I am sure her legs were burning. Probably for a whole 2 weeks they were burning. But then she had to pick up again and go and do another race, and then do another one, and then do another one, and then do another one. I mean, she is just amazing. Now she's getting older. She's an amazing, amazing young woman. For all of us foreigners, have a purpose. Learn from someone like that. Have a purpose. Know why you are here. We're not just here because you have become a citizen of a certain country. Now you are chilled. Know why you're here. Right? Know why you're here, because for most of us, we've left our families behind. They are looking at us and said, I've sent a child overseas. What are they doing? How are you doing? Sometimes you're not calling home because you forgot about people who brought you here, people who've helped you to be who you are. We are foreigners, guys, but we can grow and don't be normal. Dare to stand out. Be different. Challenge yourself every day. Challenge yourself. I am going to challenge myself from here, from doing this. I have to challenge myself, like get to another level. Get to another level, whatever that is for me that I have to work on, right? What are you going to work on to dare to be different? Dare to be different. What are you going to work on? How are you going to be different? How are you going to stand out? How are you going to face your fear? Because we all have a fear of money. We have a fear of money. We are terrified of money. And that's just because we don't understand it. And that's just because we don't know who runs the world, who rules. We know there is presidents and prime ministers and what have you, but are they running the money? No, they're not running the money game. They are not running the money game at all. We've got central banks. We've got the Feds in America. They are the money bosses of the world, honey. They are the people who are running the world. I know I've spoken about central banks before, but today I want to jump on and talk a little bit more about the other banks, what they do, and how everything is it works like this. One country might do one thing that will affect the rest of the world. Now, as for you, if you don't understand that, like local John and Jean, if you don't understand that, you will forever belittle yourself. You will forever be in the same spot. That is your comfort zone of where you are not growing to become a better, amazing person you are. And that's only because of lack of education. We lack education. We lack education, as I started from the beginning. We lack the leadership skills. We don't know how to lead ourselves. And that's the biggest problem we will all face. It's that self-leadership. We don't know how to lead ourselves. So if you don't know how to lead yourself on a daily basis, how are you going to control your money? Please tell me. How are you going to have discipline with your money? We don't, most of us. We don't. Because we don't know how, we're just waking up without any purpose. We're just waking up without planning anything. And therefore, we are failing on a daily basis. So I'm going to talk about Jerome Powell. That's the name most of you should be familiar with. He is the Federal Reserve in America. So they don't have a central bank. A little bit story about them because I have read, they are the people who almost started central banks. Like they went to a private island and they discussed. So it's not government owned body. It's almost separate from the government. They went to discuss all about 6 rich families in America at the time, which they still are. They went and discussed about how they're going to help the economy in America. And they came up with this. Jekyll Island. Find the book on YouTube. Interesting, a very interesting book, where they were on the train privately. They were being discreet about the whole thing. Nobody had to find out. Nobody had to know anything about them. And they came up and they said, we're going to help you. Here we are saviors. To this day, they are controlling money in America. And so therefore, they are controlling everybody, right? Especially if you're in the UK, whatever they are deciding, we follow, right? The Bank of England follows whatever they're doing. In most cases. And that, it's like the whole world is watching. Well, what are they doing? Jerome Powell, if the Fed raises interest rates, money borrowing for a car, for your home, it's more expensive. Does that make sense? So that's why you have to listen. When Jerome Powell talks, you gotta listen, especially if you live in America. Because of course, when he lowers the rates, it's cheaper. So it's easy for you to go and borrow the money and just take it in and invest and do whatever, all the goodies that you have to do with your money. Right? Because you can afford to pay. Because I think most of the problems comes when you borrow money, especially if it's a lot of money, it's the paying back, right? Because when interest goes up, so you got to pay it back a bit more. Now, if money paying more, are you able to do that? So that applies to like interest, house interest. When they go up, are you able to pay more? Or is it better for you to just rent a house? Right? Either way, for me, it's like, but because money, if the interest rates have gone up, the landlord will put the rent up, right? And you will pay more money. So for me, I'm always on, anybody who can afford to buy a place of your own. And then I am not big on new builds. Although I like shiny stuff, I like not so much a house of new build. To me, I don't think the quality is good to start with. So I'm not into that. But because it's interest, it might be even more expensive, right? Consider that if you're buying a house. Anyway, going back to Europe, the woman who leads Europe, the Eurozone, right? Christine Lagarde. So it's European Bank Central. If you live in Europe, I know a few people that lives in Europe, not personally, but I know of people who live there. She controls how strong the euro is. A weak euro makes imports so expensive. So next time when you're buying a cup of coffee and it's expensive, no, it's her. She did that. So know that she did that. That's why the interest rate, that's why you pay more for your coffee. So I'll say on that, just find a Stanley cup or something, right? Make coffee from home. You bought the dang thing already anyway, so make it from your kitchen because you are paying for the water and the electricity. So make it. You might as well make it at home instead of going to Starbucks and pay probably £3, £4, £5 now for a cup of coffee. I mean, treating yourself now and again, it's fine. But for people who travel, commute to work every day, no. Please make it make sense. Save that money for something else. Save it to buy a silver coin, right? You can. Oh, because silver coins are the cheapest asset that you can have is silver coins. You can, let's say if you, like, for 2 weeks, you can afford to buy a silver coin. Or even 3 weeks, you can afford to buy a silver coin, depending how much a cup of coffee is for you if you live in Europe. Very cheap. That's an asset bank. You are in control of that. You are in control of that. Not the government. You are in control of that. Just because you saved on a cup of coffee that you didn't buy for a whole month, you got to buy maybe 3, 4 silver coins. Or 2, or 1, whatever. You were being clever with your money. Right? And if you live in the UK, because from the names that I can see, most of you here are from the UK. Have you heard? Put your hand up if you've heard of the name Andrew Bailey. I have spoken about him before. And if you haven't, shame on you. Big shame on you guys. That's the man who runs the Bank of England. He's the boss of the Bank of England. If inflation gets so high in the UK, he raises interest rates, making it pricier to use credit cards and getting loans. Is it ringing the bell? If any of these people do anything, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Any change that they bring to the table, it's affecting your bank account. It's affecting your bank account. So I was watching this other channel. I guess that's why I gave an example of houses. Because I'm interested in what they look at. Although I'm doing Forex and he's doing like houses, telling people the interest rates, whatever, we are all looking at the same thing. He looks at the Bank of England. What are they doing? Are they putting rates up? You know, he talks about such things. So for me, it's like really interesting to understand, like we are all talking about different things, even people with stocks, but still we want to know what the economy is doing, who is doing what in the economy. It's very, very important, right? It's so important that we all have to pay attention. Now, the next name I'm about to botch is Kwazu Weather. That's Bank of Japan. I know I botched that name. He decides how much money is in circulation, the money that's going around. If too much is printed, price shoots up and your savings lose value. Now, let me tell you guys something. Our money anyway loses money because of inflation, right? Our money anyway loses value because, and not realizing that you are saving and your money is losing. Your money, it's losing value just for keeping it in the bank. It's losing value. And that's not a thing you want. So that's why they're rich. We got to copy them, right? That's the only copy we're doing. We're copying them to see where are they putting their money. They put their money in assets because they know it's growing in value. Not in the green paper, not in the blue paper, because they know that loses value. So for them, they won't be able to buy more of whatever they want. They got to put more in. If you were buying that cup of coffee for £1, now you're paying £1.30. Same size, same ingredients, same everything, but you're paying more because your money have lost value. They understand that. They don't buy unnecessary material things, whereas we, the poor people, we like to look rich. We like to look rich. Look at me. I've got long hair. Look at me. I am slaying. Look at me. How much money? How much? I mean, like, how much? What assets? What are you investing in? Right. So you and I, we're not talking. What are we talking about? Put your money where it's going to work for you, where it's going to save you in the future. Put your money where it counts, not material stuff. Material stuff is just nah, not really. Right? And then the next name is Pen Wansheng. I'm speaking Chinese, honey. The People's Bank of China. China's economy affects the globe. It affects the prices around the globe. Everybody. Like almost everything in your house, made in China. Made in China. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. You have something that was made in China. Somewhere. Or most of the stuff. So if Chinese central bank changes policies, it may impact the cost of, as I said, most of the things that we have in our houses, from electric, from the phone, from the clothes, the iPhone, like from anything, even fuel, it will affect. It's so important. Now pay attention to what China is doing. Now, the thing that we tend to do, most of us, because we say, oh, I don't live in a country, so therefore it's not important. I mean, let alone you don't pay attention to what your country is saying, so let alone knowing about what another country is doing. None of your business, you think. Little do you know that you are being affected just because they have made a change. I mean, in China, how is that affecting me? It is affecting you, as I said, the things that you buy, it will cost more. If they have to like put more into what they are producing to sell it to you, who do you think is going to take the bait? You are. The business, the people, the business owners, and then pass it on down to us. Because this, I'm not taking that on. The people who want the products, they can pay for that. I'm not. And we are every day, just because we are told to consume, buy. We are the people, on the other hand, that controls the economy. We're spending more, they're happy. We're not spending, they're not happy. Now, on the other hand, you're left worrying, stressing out about money constantly. That's not their worry. But it's your worry that you got to worry about it and stress it out to yourself, leading yourself with your money. Again, it's down to dare to stand out. Lead yourself with money. How are you controlling your money? Boshing, another name. Shaktikanta Das. He is in the Bank of India. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. If anybody comes across this and say, what is she saying? Why is she saying it like that? I am so sorry. He works to keep the ruby, that's their currency, right? It's called that, stable. So everybody doesn't wake up the next morning all of a sudden finding things are gone crazy. People will lose their minds, right? He controls that money. He controls it so it's not uncomfortable for the people in the country. And that goes with every currency. The other central banks, they're controlling that. They're controlling that so we don't wake up crazy saying, oh, things are out of control. I don't know what happened. Now, because we were not paying attention, it will come as a surprise to most of us. I said, what? Losing our minds? If the landlord saying, sorry, listen, I'm putting the rent up. Yeah, because you weren't paying attention to what they were doing in the background, now you feel lost. Now you're not prepared. Now life is not fair. Life is very unfair because they are about to do some in April. God, I hate April the 1st in the UK. It's just a menace. It brings so much change to everything. It's like, oh God, here we go, ding dong. But because like that is a predictable thing, right? We know that the change is coming. The cancer index probably is going up. That's what they said is going to happen. So we have the power that we have is for us to learn how to grow our money. How are you going to make more money instead of squeezing yourself with what you have? How are you going to learn to make more money? What other skill are you going to put on your table to make you more money? What else are you going to do to make yourself more money? Right? Those are the sort of questions that you have to ask yourself. Like the hair, that only hair that you're going to pull out, it has to be with that. How much am I going to put on the line for me to have a better skill that will bring in more money? So I don't stress out. So I can go on holiday whenever I want without worrying about a penny. What is that? What works for you, right? What works for you? What are you willing to put out there? It's what works for you. What do you think that you're capable of? How much risk can you take? How like you, right? How can you push yourself to be a little bit of a risk taker? To make sure that you covered? Like you sorting yourself out? And then if you live in Canada, the Bank of Canada, Tiff McClam, if you have a loan in Canada, he decides how much money or payments, how much you're going to pay more off in Canada. It's so these people, they are like DJs, DJs of the world. They go everywhere. They are DJing around. They control the money system. They're turning the volume up and they turn it down. And all for us, it's just like, yes, sir. And when you're saying that, yes, sir, are you saying yes, sir, and then complain and moan about it? Or are you saying, yes, sir, but I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go, you and I. Let's go. What? Is that all you've got? But again, as I said, because we're not prepared. We are not ready. We're not prepared for such things. Because we're not willing to learn new skills. We are being beat down time and again. Guys, dare to stand out. Dare to be different. Because you will feel it very fast in your wallet. Because if they mess up, it's all good. It's terrible for us. But if they've got it all balanced out, it's good. Life is very smooth for all of us. But they do mess up. The Great Depression, they messed up. 2008, they messed up big time. House crash. People lost a lot of stuff. At first they said no. The facts in America, no. It came here. People lost their homes. People who had houses lost a whole lot of things. And then they said, yeah, we caused that crash. You can't put anybody in jail. You can't hit anybody on the head. You can't do anything. Not that I'm condoning violence, but because a lot of people were not prepared. Although some people, they might call themselves, I'm a landlord, but just because it's okay, something's going to bring me money. Sometimes that's what we do, right? It's just going to bring me money. You don't pay attention. A lot of people got banned for it. I listened to this other guy. He said he was, he had houses, but because he was not paying, can't think of his name now, Mark Morse. He wasn't paying attention and he got burned. He's American. He got burned big time because he was not paying attention. Although he had houses, although he was well educated, he lost half of his money because most of it was invested in the house. He lost everything, he said. But from that day onwards, he decided, this is not going to happen to me again. I'm going to be a whole different man. Be a man to my wife. And now he lives a whole different lifestyle than to what he did before. So How are we going to be different? How are we going to change food on the table for us? How are we going to change and move things around for us? How are we going to stand out tall and different? How are we going to do that? Guys, we have the ball right in the palm of our hands. It's up to us to change. It's up to us to be here. It's up to us to be poor. It's up to us to die poor. It's up to us to grow and stand and be strong and have a very comfortable life and be happy and wanting to learn to grow to be better. It's up to us. It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to me to lead myself, to lead my family. It's my responsibility. Are you owning it? Own it. Don't be a blamer. Don't be a moaner. That's what poor people do. And you are not one of them. Don't be a whinger. Don't be a blamer. Don't be pointing fingers. It's your responsibility, nobody else's. So please own yourself. Stand tall and stand firm in being who you are. Dare to stand out, guys. Dare to stand out. On that note, I'll say, please do go and chase your purpose and never the money. And I'll see you guys again next week, Monday, 8 o'clock. Tell everybody, do share this. Let's talk about this. Let's be different. Please, especially for us, it's so important. As we are foreigners, it's so important that although we're together, we got to grow. We don't just being together when we just playing. We got to grow together as people. Go and chase your purpose and never the money. And I'll see you guys again. Same time, same place. Bye. Loads of